Look, regardless of the fact that I actually enjoyed this show, this is not going to get me to watch the Kardashians. It's not. It's not. But anyway, my name's Romie, and this is the review for Rob and Chyna, Season 1, Episode 6, the season finale. It starts off with Chris. She's still talking to Rob because she needs Rob to know that regardless of what's going on with Chyna and him, or his sisters and him, he still needs to be in contact with his mom. He needs to make sure that he doesn't go and disappear for a couple of days on Chyna after the baby's gone. Because the thing is, he'll be a father at that point. So he's not going to be a deadbeat. And I appreciate that conversation. Now, Paige and Chyna are chucking it up, yucking it up in the car. And Chyna's still trying to figure out, what's going on with Rob. Because the fact is that Rob, he decided that he wasn't going to go to his own grandmother's birthday party. And we don't fully know the reason why he skipped out on that in particular. But what we do know is the fact that he blocked everyone, including Chyna, including his mom and all that, and then not to come. It's just not a good look. But Kim shows up to Chyna's photo shoot, and Kim has a conversation with Chyna and just lets her know that, you know what, regardless of what happened in the past, present, and possibly future, you're a part of the family now, so I have your back. Whatever you need, let's go for it. So Chyna's thinking, you know what, Kim? Maybe we can go and work together. Maybe we can figure something out with Rob. And Kim's like, yeah, I'm going to invite you guys to my house. We're going to have a real conversation. And Kim is talking to Rob and Chyna and trying to be the best therapist that she possibly can, even though I'm thinking, Rob hasn't really talked to you all that much. He's decided to see you because we know he loves you, but Rob hasn't really talked to you all that much. So you being the therapist in between the two, are you really going to be that impartial? But the whole conversation just goes, and Kim's just like, yeah, so Rob, here are your issues. And then it was like, Chyna, I know you have some issues too because it can't be one-sided. But I appreciate the fact that Kim was at least trying to do something, because it's like, Rob's actually coming back around to us. We can't let this stop. I feel like that's probably their real mentality. Rob's finally come back around. It's mainly because of Chyna. So we need to make sure that this relationship keeps going on as long as possible, especially with the baby being on the way and them not being on so great of terms. Rob, you can't do the whole ghosting people and disappearing for a couple of days. Chyna, I'm sure you play a part too. And we know Chyna's issue is that she's not as emotionally equipped to deal with someone like Rob. Rob is very emotional and requires, won't say babying, but it almost feels like babying. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already done so. And because of that, someone like Chyna, who's used to a guy being more so independent-esque, not as needy-esque, not as sensitive-esque, it's a lot to handle. It's very different, a very different type of situation. Chyna realizes that the public feels a certain way about her and sees her in a certain light. So she's actually telling her friends, you know what? Maybe I need to go and just get a paternity test. And she spoke about this with Kim as well. I need to just go get a paternity test so that Rob can feel like, yes, without a shadow of a doubt, Chyna isn't doing anything, because Rob is insecure. So of course, one of the insecurities are, is she cheating on me? Is she cheating on me? Beyonce, stop. No, let me stop. Scott comes over to Rob's house and just tells Rob, you know what? Maybe you need to see a therapist. You know all the issues I've had. I stay in therapy. I stay in therapy because it helps me out so much. I feel like you need this too. Rob, I'm surprised Rob's never really done therapy like that before. I'm thinking with the issues he has, they should have gotten him on a plan a long time ago. But again, it's all about, you have to be receptive to it. And if it's not until now that he's going to be receptive to it, then it makes sense that he didn't want to start something like that. But Chyna is still on this whole, she needs to go and do this paternity test to make sure that Rob feels like, without a shadow of a doubt, the relationship is real. And it's just weird. It's just very weird to me. It just sounds so off. So, like I said, Chyna lists the help of Kim. She has to do that because she needs a distraction. And so, just in case Rob's there, well, first she needs a partner in crime. And since, I guess, who not better than Kim Kardashian to be her partner in crime instead of Paige? for something like this. And they pull up to his house, and I'm surprised Kim's so receptive of this, but I guess Kim's just like, yeah, we live in a non-traditional world, so something like this is actually pretty normal. Pretty normal, because Kim was telling Rob that, you know, if Kanye was ghosting her, like what Rob's doing to Chyna while she's pregnant, and then what happens when she actually gives birth? Nope, that's a deal breaker. I was like, huh, is it though? Actually, she didn't say deal breaker. She said, I'd be mad. I'd be so mad. Now, they go into Rob's house, and they thought Rob wouldn't be there. He was. And I'm thinking, clearly they brought the cameras in because this was not set up to have, you know, a scene at the house. Rob's just like, what the do you think you guys are doing here? Just like, you guys are weird. What are y'all doing here? Y'all hanging out together in my, y'all don't even pop up like that. Kim, you don't even come to my house like that. I was like, oh, okay. Like, what's really going on? So, Kim's on the bed, rolling around on the bed. I'm like, what is she doing? Because it's like, oh my god. I was looking at her like, what the, are you on something? Do you need a moment to chill? Kim has this hair brush, like this hair brush sampler thing to go and extract the hairs from his pillow. She's just like molesting his pillow. Chyna goes just like, I had to pee. He goes into the bathroom, just like, oh yeah, when a woman's pregnant, her bladder control is just non-existent. I was like, you guys are weird. Chyna gets his toothbrush, drops it on the way out, and then they start running. They start running. Kim's like, crap, I left my phone. We have to go back. This is all so stupid. And then, so I was like, okay, I'm not dumb. What are you guys trying to do? It's like, okay, don't be mad. I want to get a paternity test. I was like, what? No, because you know the blogs and stuff are being dumb and saying that we're not together because of the fact that you're not the father. There's a possibility you're not the father. I've only been with you. You already know that since we've been together. So there's no possible way that the baby can't be yours. But I just want to do a paternity test just so that there's a shout without a doubt for you. Since I know that there's still, I know you know, but you just need to know. I'm thinking, here's the truth. Just say it how it is. He trusts you 99.9%. There's that 0.01% that has him looking at you like, is she cheating on me? So he's just like, you know, I know how I... See, this is how, you know, we don't really know each other, because you could have just came to me and told me that you want to do something like this, and I understand that I don't live in a practical world. My family's dramatic. And none of it makes sense. So something like this is actually pretty normal. It's just like, oh, wait, are you mad though? But are you mad? I feel like Chyna almost wanted him to be mad. Like, why aren't you mad? Why aren't you mad? Anyway, so they do it discreetly. They invite people over so that she can get blood work done and he can get a cotton swab. I'm like, wait a minute. So she has to go and get a needle. He gets to go and get a cotton swab. I guess technically, because if it's just going off of her DNA, she's still... Because the thing is, when a woman's pregnant, she's just carrying a baby. It's partially her DNA because of the egg. That's it. But that's the main thing. So that's why they had to do blood work. Because if you just do straight up DNA, it would just show her. I had to think about that. They didn't explain it, but I had to think about it for myself. I'm like, wait a minute. But she's carrying a baby, but she's only carrying the baby. It's not a part of her forever. So I was like, oh, right. So Rob goes and he gets therapy, and the therapist was good. The therapist, you know, was sympathetic to him, and she wasn't on his side or anything, but she was just open to what he was saying, and that's the main issue. Rob is afraid to talk to Chyna and voice certain opinions that he has about Chyna because he feels like she's going to react a certain way. He's not wrong. We've already seen it for ourselves that Chyna does react a certain way in regards to Rob. And so Rob's go and gets his hair cut, and then he puts back on the hat. He puts back on the hat, and not only that, did you guys see the Robert Kardashian shirt that his barber was wearing. Even he's branding for it. But Rob goes and talks to Chyna because Chyna wants to know how did therapy go. What did you talk about, Rob? What did you talk about, Rob? And Rob's just like, oh, Lord Jesus, I really have to, right. Yeah, so here's what happened. You know, I talked about our relationship and the fact that communication's the main issue. You, whenever I want to voice my opinion, I feel like you interpret it a certain way and then you flip it back on me. And she was just like, well, I feel like you do stuff like that to me, and I feel like I can't really say what I want to say to you because you'll instantly get offended. And they just come to agreement that they really don't know each other. This is a couple that's only come together for a couple of months now, so it makes sense that they don't really know, excuse me, know each other. Because at one point, Chyna was talking to her friends saying how, you know, she wasn't sure if she was going to be with Rob. And I feel like that was the realest thing. I feel like that was the realest thing, because regardless of the fact that she's going to have a baby, and some people say, oh, she's going to be set for life or whatever, it's still like the issue of Chyna is the type of person that she doesn't have a problem raising children on her own. The only thing I don't like about that is it sets up the expectation of you're telling the man, you can leave. You can leave. I don't really want or need you here, so you can go. And unfortunately, some men will take that as, okay, so I'm leaving. That's not the right type of man or men, but that's just the reality for how some people react. And that's the thing with Rob. Rob feels like, oh, his services are no longer required, tease, almost every time that he has an argument with Chyna, which is true. That's how it normally comes about. So Rob's telling his mom that he actually went, he got some therapy, and it was good for him, and he realizes the issues he has with Chyna. And it's just like, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. Chris is just happy that he actually went and spoke with someone. And side note, what was that on her, what was that background on her computer? I was like, what the, what type of mess is that? Chyna's talking, and her face got messed up. I don't know if they have the picture online, so I may or may not have it on the green screen, but she went and got a facial, and Paige was like, you know what? Why don't you use some of Rob's sperm? By doing that, you know, it'll be a great treatment. Just get the oh, Paige. But yeah, her face was messed up, because the thing is, Chyna's black, so she can't be putting on those strong chemicals that they can put on some other people's faces, if you know what I mean. Let's just be real about it. So everyone, Kim, Chris, even Rob's like, oh, you look good, you look good. They were reassuring her, but it's just like, and you're like, damn, Ma, you look bad. You look good, but your face, it looks. Now, Rob wanted to go and actually have this sit down with his family. He needed to do this because he was saying how, of course it was more so, the families were still doing this, but Rob wasn't a part of it. So now he's starting to feel like he's a part of, he wants to be reacclimated into his family, and he's just saying how we need to stick together regardless of how extra and all that. I love you guys, and it's fun, and I usually get worked up in my head on how things are going to be, but when it's just us, it's great. And I'm thinking, where's Kylie? Where is Kylie and Kendall? Where is Kylie and Kendall? Were they that busy that they couldn't go and make this? Maybe they were. They're making money, so I'm not mad at them, but maybe they were that busy. Chyna and Rob get the paternity test results, and of course, it's 99.9% his son. And I'm thinking, I mean his daughter. I was with Rob, I'm like, you couldn't really just round it off to 100%. I get nothing's guaranteed legally just in case anything happens, but really. So that was pretty much it. They're going to go and figure out, they're going to work on themselves, they're going to work on their relationship. And look, that advertisement for Keeping Up with the Kardashians, it was good, but I've never watched the show. I'm not going to start now. Definitely not going to start now. But I was like, wait a minute. I am not about to get sucked into this. No. Thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking out with me. Again, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already done so. I review a whole bunch of other stuff, so stay tuned.